This is lesson 14.2, part 3. In this one, we're going to solve some equations that involve inverses. So here's our equation. We have 4 cosine theta minus 1 equals cosine theta. To solve this, we're going to subtract cosine theta on both sides. And then we're going to add 1 to get the 1 on the opposite side from cosine. So this gives us 4 cosine minus 1 cosine is 3 cosine. And we move the 1 from the left to the right. Now we're going to divide by 3. So that gives us cosine theta equals 1/3. And then to get this cosine to be removed from the left side, we do an inverse cosine. So that cancels the cosine there and brings it over to this other side. So what we now have is cosine inverse of 1/3 equals theta. This you put in your calculator. Since the instructions at the top say to use theta between 0 and 2 pi, make sure your calculator is set to radian mode, and we get theta equals 1.23. So if you're looking at the unit circle, theta being 1.23 is somewhere in this region. It's a positive value, 1.23 radians. Okay, so we would get this solution of 1.23, and of course we would get this solution again in the unit circle when we get around to the fourth quadrant, because cosine is positive in the first quadrant, but it's also positive in the fourth quadrant. So this angle right here would be would give us the same answer, negative 1.23. So in the interval from 0 to 2 pi, that's going to be this angle. So if we take 2 pi minus 1.23, that gives us 5.05 as the positive angle coming around to the fourth quadrant. So we get the two solutions in the interval from 0 to 2 pi. We get 1.23, and we also get 5.05. Gives us answers in the first and fourth quadrant. Okay, this one's a little bit different. We have 2 cosine theta times sine theta plus sine theta equals 0. And we want to solve this for theta and get all the answers in the interval from 0 to 2 pi. So what we're going to do here is we're going to factor out a sine theta. Since both parts of this equation have a sine theta, we'll divide that out. That leaves us with 2 cosine theta plus 1, like so. Using the zero product property, sine theta equals 0, or 2 cosine theta plus 1 equals 0. And on the right here, we can subtract 1 and divide by 2. And then we're taking the inverse cosine. So we get the inverse cosine of negative 1/2 equals theta. So then you have to imagine the unit circle, and where on the unit circle do you have cosine equal to negative 1/2? So since cosine is x values, negative x values would be on the left side of the graph. So negative 1/2 would be here or here. So the angle measures that give us that, and we want angles between 0 and 2 pi, so we're talking about radian measures, would be 2 pi thirds for this top one and 4 pi thirds for this bottom one. So we get two possible answers of 2 pi thirds and 4 pi thirds. Okay, moving over to our sine function, if we're looking for solutions on the unit circle where sine, or I guess we would have to take our inverse sine first. So we have inverse sine of 0 is theta. So since sine is a y value, you know that sine is 0 here and here. So those would be theta values of 0 for the right-hand side and pi for the left-hand side. So in the interval from 0 to 2 pi, we have 4 solutions. If we were to combine both of these two zero product properties, we would get 0, 2 pi thirds, 4 pi, well, pi would go in here if we're going in order, and then 4 pi thirds. All 4 of these answers for the one equation. That's it for 14.2.